Good evening, folks. I hope you're all well. I am just going to see if I can invite our guest into the live chat. So excuse me while I do this. Let's see. Good evening. I hope you are all well. I'm a minute early just so that if there was a technical glitch, I could figure it out, but hopefully there won't be. Hello to everybody who is watching live as always, and to those who get me on catch up. Great to be here, and I hope that I can bring some eco news to your evening and tell you something that you don't know. Although today it won't be me that tells you something that you don't know, it'll be my guest Nikki, who is the owner of a beautiful little company called the Natural Crayon Company. So I'm going to let her introduce herself properly, but for now, those who don't know me, my name is Jen. I am the owner and founder of Eco Living Ideas, and my mission is to create a community and a platform where people can come either at the start, in the middle, or at the end of their eco journey and ask questions, share hints and tips, ask for recommendations, recommend other companies and products that they've used. And then if they want to buy an eco alternative, I stock those as well. And they are all on my website. I have over 70 blogs now on my website with loads of useful information. There is the Eco Chat live in here every week. And today I have launched my brand new home detox clinic, which is an online course and is basically for anybody at any point in their eco journey. There is something for everyone in there. So if you are completely new to making switches, it will take you on a step-by-step guide from the very basics to detox 5 different areas of your home. If you have been making eco switches for a while, you will still find new things to learn and reassess and look at in your home. So yeah, it's a bit of something for everybody. I've had a few people sign up already and have great reviews from those who tested it for me. So if you're not sure whether it's for you or not, I will pop the link in the comments when I finish chatting to Nikki later on, and you can go and check it out for yourself. Now, where is she? So Nikki's not here yet, so I'm afraid she's stuck with me for a little while longer. So that's a bit more about the home detox clinic. And like I say, I've had some fantastic reviews from the ladies who tested it out for me to make sure it all worked properly. And I've done a couple of lives with them as well. So hopefully they will be able to tell you how marvellous it is. In other news, I'm trying to think what else has been going on. So I'm just checking that I am actually properly live and I'm not talking to myself. 1 second. Oh yes, there I am. I am there. Marvellous. In other news, let's have a think. I have released some new products this month. So this month's focus for the page and the business is all about eco kids. Oh, hi, Nikki. Why is it? I can see the tag but can't find an invite. Here we go. This should be working. There we are. Let's just see if Nikki comes on. So Eco Kids is the focus this month. Talking to us, but also.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Yeah. I'll stop wittering now. I was trying to fill in time.
I am so sorry. I was searching for the invite and I couldn't find it.
It's Facebook. It does it different every single time, so that I never really know. This is the 4th one I've done, I think. I'm never quite sure whether it's going to work or not because it's never the same. So don't worry about it. I'm glad you're here.
Me and Pet as well are just not friends. So
I'm just glad that your comment popped up because sometimes I don't even get comments. So if that hadn't have come up, I'd have just been sat here talking for half an hour to nobody. But here we are. So, welcome Nikki, thank you for joining me. We'll jump straight into it because I know there is a couple of people on watching. So, please tell us about yourself and your beautiful business.
So I'm Nikki. Hi everyone, sorry for being late. I'm the creator of the Natural Crayon Company, and I make beautiful personalised novelty natural wax crayons. They're all handmade from scratch using plant-based waxes and food-grade pigments. I work really hard to try and make sure that all of my packaging is plastic free as an absolute minimum, but I try and make sure that we use recycled cardstock and things like that. So I try and look into the sustainability of all our packaging as well.
Yeah, so we got found you. I was looking actually at our messages. So we were messaging back in September. So we've been chatting for quite a while. And I bought some of Nikki's crayons for my youngest, Philippa. And we had Pippi spelled out because that's what we call her. So yeah, so she got some of those for Christmas, and they are very well loved and used, and absolutely, like, the packaging's beautiful and it's all wrapped so nicely.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yes, we do love the job. So tell us, what was sort of the inspiration behind you starting the business?
So back in, would have been Christmas 2019, I bought something similar for my little girl as a Christmas present, made from melted down traditional paraffin wax crayons, and they were beautiful and really unique, and I loved the idea. But they came wrapped with lots of bubble wrap to protect them in the post, and so lots of plastic, and I wanted to see if I could find somebody out there that did similar but with a more environmentally friendly focus on it. And after doing quite a bit of research, that then sent me down the rabbit hole of crayons and what crayons are actually made of. So I started to try and find a more environmentally friendly option that also had been CE marked, and I really struggled to find anything. I could find someone in America that was doing them.
Oh wow.
But obviously not CE marked because they have different standards. So I then started trying to make my own. So I spent a good little bit of time in the kitchen mixing up different types of waxes, different types of pigments, and I wanted to include them in my daughter's party bags for her birthday, which is in January.
Oh, lovely.
And after I finally made these little dinosaurs, I'd kind of fallen in love with the whole process a little bit and decided to, yeah, the Natural Crayon Company was born.
Marvelous. So what's sort of your mission and your purpose behind the business? What are you hoping to achieve with it?
Just really to give people an alternative. I feel like there's quite a mindset shift going on at the moment, and a lot of people are searching for more environmentally friendly options for everything, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
Crayons will probably be fairly down the list in terms of eco swaps, but I just like to make one of those eco swaps a bit easier for people, really.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think it's not an everyday thing, is it? It's not something that you necessarily use every day or buy every day, but actually knowing that what your child is using is safe is such a big important thing, and especially because they do put them in the mouth no matter how many times to tell them not to, and
Yeah.
you know, knowing that actually it's not going to do them a horrendous amount of damage. If they might go a funny colour, but it's not going to do them any harm
Yeah.
if that happens. So yeah, I think normalizing it is a really important thing to do, definitely. So tell us, sort of, in your process of starting the business and the research that you did before you started, what did you find about sort of the things that are usually put in kids' craft things and crayons and things? Have you got any facts that you can share with us?
Yeah, so it's quite mind-boggling, really, what's actually in them. Obviously, with crayons, the main ingredient is paraffin wax. So most of that is a byproduct of the crude oil process. And depending on what research you read, you get everything from it's completely not biodegradable to it is biodegradable but takes decades to hundreds of years. So regardless, the crayon ends and bits and bobs are going to be around for quite a substantial amount of time. It's not uncommon for crayons to contain tallow, which is a form of wax that's derived from beef fat, which I found a little bit stomach churny. I'm sure there are others out there that will feel the same. Fairly common ingredient. there's other fillers and things that are included, such as talcum powder, which is what was suspected to have caused asbestos traces in crayons fairly recently, early 2000s, I think 2018 it even was actually.
Wow.
So yeah, traces such as asbestos and benzene have been found fairly recently in crayons.
And are these crayons like just that we buy off the shelf at Wilko's or B&M or a supermarket, anything like that?
It's yeah, they're all labeled non-toxic, and I'm sure they're non-toxic, but there's a difference between being non-toxic and nice.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the asbestos and benzene that was found was in very low trace levels, so but still not an ideal thought, I don't think.
No.
Even beeswax crayons, which look sort of sold as beeswax crayons, I think the legal minimum requirement for them to be sold as beeswax crayons is 10%. So
and the rest is sort of paraffin wax, is it made of?
A lot of them. So I was looking at some the other day. Some sort of the more well-stocked names contain 10% to 25% when you do a little bit of digging, and it's really difficult to find out what the remainder of the wax content is. Some are quite upfront about it, so others aren't. So it's just but there are some out there that are 100%. So if you're opting for a beeswax option, have a look and make sure that it does say 100%. But beeswax in its nature is quite soft, so it's difficult to get the balance between something that holds up as a crayon and something that's as pure as you can get it.
Yeah, I bet. Crikey, that's bonkers. So what sort of difficulties did you have sourcing the eco materials for your products?
There's been a few. The main one really was deciding which wax to use. So I'm fairly early in my eco journey, and a common hardening wax that's used is carnauba wax. I'm probably saying it completely wrong, which is palm wax. So I decided to steer completely clear of that, thinking palm wax, palm oil. A little bit more research is telling me that it's possibly not quite the same thing. But I use soy in my crayons, but there's also sort of questions around the sustainability of soy, as there will be whenever anything starts to become intensively farmed. So I've sourced a non-genetically modified soy wax that's from sustainable sources. My crayons are vegan. I'm currently having issues sourcing packaging that's vegan, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Because the boxes I currently use, the glue, I believe it's the glue content in them.
Oh, yeah,
I'm currently looking at all of my paper tapes and stickers, managed to find vegan ones of those, but I'm currently having to rethink my current packaging option, because I'd really like to be able to advertise them as vegan, and it would be nice.
Gosh, that wouldn't have even crossed my mind about a box being vegan.
Yeah, it's not something that you would think of. I myself am not a vegan, but the more I've been reading and the more that I've been researching, it's crazy what sort of things you would assume would be completely fine, and actually they're not.
Wow, yeah, that has never. I mean, all the packaging that I use, well, not all, but 90% of the packaging I used is reused from things that I get in, and I have various neighbours that drop round, send me messages, some boxes on your doorstep for you. So I do have some new ones for when I run out, which does happen occasionally, but I maybe use 3 or 4 of those a month, and everything else is reused from deliveries that we get or that friends and neighbours get. So it's just, that's never crossed my mind. So cool. But I'm just having a look at my questions, seeing what's next. You've touched on it already a little bit, but what advice would you give to parents and carers when they were looking for new crayons and craft materials for the kids? What do they need to be looking out for?
Make sure it's got the CE, well, in this country now it'll be the UK CA mark. So all toys sold in this country should, well, by law they have to carry that mark, which means they've undergone stringent testing to make sure that they are safe for the children's toy market. Crayons fall under that banner, so any crayons that you buy should have the CE UK CA mark. For ones that you're purchasing in stores, that shouldn't be an issue, but there are lots of sellers that have come up recently selling melted down crayons, or there's quite a few people now selling natural wax crayons, and yeah, make sure they've got the CE mark. A lot of crayons will be made with earth pigments. If they've been tested, that's fine, but a lot of earth pigments will contain heavy metal elements, which
what are earth pigments?
They're sort of like a natural pigment, so ones that are derived from sort of like rocks or sort of material that you can find in the earth. So it's a more natural alternative to sort of the chemical colorings that you would get in normal crayons.
Right.
I believe a lot of them now can be sourced synthetically, as opposed to ones direct from earth pigments, because they do contain a higher level of heavy metal elements, which is exactly what the lab testing tests for in toys. Even people that are melting down sort of Crayola branded ones that are CE marked should re-CE mark them themselves, because it then means that you know that they've got good hygiene practices in place and they're following batch numbering. So if there are any issues with the raw materials that they are using, they're able to track that through the process. So yeah, just make sure that they've got the CE mark and good.
Well, I have definitely learned a lot in the last 10 minutes. So thank you very much.
I sort of rambled at you now.
No, not at all. I honestly think that it's one of those things that, I mean, I don't know, it's not something that I've ever looked into. I know a bit about toys, like sort of more play toys, but the craft side of things, and it's not something I've ever looked into. So it's great to hear more about it, and hopefully, I know we've got a few people on watching, they can sort of go away and and do their own research and buy from you.
That would be,
because they are beautiful. I'm just going to see if we've got any questions before we wrap up. But while I'm looking, can you tell people where they can find you?
So I am currently building a website, because that's one thing that I haven't yet done. So that's in motion at the moment, and that will come up soon. In the meantime, though, you can contact me through my Facebook page and my Instagram. And I've also got a shop on Etsy. So I'll pop the links to all of those below when we're done.
Yeah, please pop them on the comments, and then people can find them. And I will pop those onto the YouTube channel and the blog on the website as well, and then people can find you in whichever way they choose to. But that is amazing. Thank you so much for all of that information and for joining me. And I hope it wasn't too nerve-wracking.
I was too flustered about being late by the time I got here.
No, you weren't late. You weren't late at all. That's great. Thank you very much. Anybody that's watching, please do ask questions in the comments, because myself and Nikki will be keeping track of those. So even if you're watching this in 2 or 3 days' time, feel free to pop a comment in there, and one of us will get back to you. And thank you again, Nikki, for joining us. And I will see you all again next week. Thanks. Take care, everyone. Bye.